Today. Now, we're on the ones as we approach 6:41 with Paul Cayano. I have this story on my Facebook page, too. Phil Bailey, WNYT. Really interesting. Since The Sound of Music aired on NBC and was such a ratings hit, 18 million plus viewers, guess who else has their phones ringing off the hook? The Von Trapp Lodge up in Stowe, Vermont. This is where the Rio Von Trapp family emigrated after fleeing the Nazis in Austria, and they settled in Stowe and opened that lodge in 1950. And they say that, yeah, the phone is just ringing off the hook with reservations and interest.
What's old is new again. It's funny, the far-reaching effects of such things.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I mean, well, this time of year especially, and you get that skiing in there, and just the winter season.
It's funny because we were talking a few weeks ago about making a reservation this winter, and now maybe we're too late.
I'm sure everything has a price. See. You'll see. We're looking at flurries and snow showers diminishing this morning. We're left with just a bunch of wind and cold for the next couple of days, and the heart of the coldest air will be moving through today. Only 22 for a high. With the wind, it's going to feel colder, only 26 tomorrow. Then Saturday's 24 comes with a bonus as a snowstorm is approaching for the weekend. We'll have more on that in a moment. In the meantime, you can see what's left as far as the lake effect activity goes. Just a few flurries in the Catskills. A couple of lake bands drifted through the region, coating the ground at time. It was coming down pretty good last evening in the greater Capital District from Schenectady and Niskayuna to Clifton Park and Albany. But you could see, like all the lake effect bands before it, these two just diminish with time as the lake trajectory, or the wind off the lake, kind of shifts a bit. And an unfavorable trajectory means very little in the way of snowfalls left this morning. That's not to say there won't be some slick spots, as temperatures have dropped into the single digits and teens this morning, with wind chills even colder. The wind chill is 6. At least it's above 0 in Albany. At Pittsfield, it's 3. Glens Falls is 8. Grafton, the wind chill is 9. Actual temperatures will struggle through the teens and into the lower 20s at Glens Falls, staying in the teens across the hills to the east, Pownell and Bennington and Manchester, and the higher terrain to the west, 19 at Delanson, Caroga Lake, only 18 for the high today. Then everyone will go back down through the teens tonight and then bounce into the mid-20s tomorrow. But let's face it, with a strong northwest wind, it'll not even feel that nice, even if we do get to around 25 or 26. So the lake effect's dying out. The clouds are melting away. We'll have a fair amount of sun to start the day. But behind that front, that sort of enhanced the lake effect, that reinforcing shot, another round of lake effect snow will develop later today and tonight, and the same places that got 1 to 2 and even some locations 3 feet of snow will pick up another couple of feet of snow in snowmobile country out here in the Tug Hill Plateau over the next 24 hours. So we have that to watch, and maybe a couple of those bands will drift down into the greater Capital District later today and tonight, and maybe a couple tomorrow, producing a few snow showers, which at times in spots could dust up the ground. Then for all of us, during the day Friday, we pick up the clouds and eventually the snow breaks out. And it looks like we'll have a decent snow going on overnight Saturday night. And most of us will wake up to at least a few inches on Sunday. 22 today with a mix of sun and clouds, and that wind only adding to the chill. 14 tonight, breezy and cold with a few of those lake effect flurries and snow showers drifting all the way into the greater Capital District. Same story tomorrow, up to 26. Saturday, we'll watch and time out that snow. It looks like by the end of the day it will arrive. It'll snow steadily overnight into Sunday morning, then dry out Sunday afternoon with a high of around 30. 20s to start next week, but we'll rebound with any luck. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll get back to freezing sometime on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it looks like for now, in the deep freeze, and to get out of it, we'll have to deal with more snow.
Okay. As we approach the end of the year, we now have the list of the most talked about stories on Twitter this year, the most retweeted messages, and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of tweets per minute for these stories. Topping the list is 2 unfortunate stories: the death of Corey Monteith, the Glee star, who died earlier this year, and also Paul Walker's death just a couple of weeks ago.
I'll bet a third unfortunate story is on there. Miley Cyrus.
You are correct.
Is that number 3? I didn't even get a chance to say it. That's
I was waiting for you to say it. On a lighter note,
I didn't want to interrupt.
Twerking is on the list. and also, this made it, I think this is number 3, one member of the group One Direction. When he turned 20, he tweeted, and apparently Everyone is really excited
Everyone went
about
nuts.
that.
Is there a Lady
They're 20
Gaga
years old
on
now.
there?
No, she's not on here.
Because doesn't she and the Bieber lead the way in terms of how many followers they have?
Yes.
So you would imagine if you have the most followers, you stand a chance at having the most retweeted message.
You would think so, but on this list, they're not on here.
So they just haven't said anything
Miley Cyrus
important.
has gone and has just taken over.
Cornered the market on everything.
Yes, we will twerk. Okay.
You will twerk.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
You got it.